Good day, sir. Good day, man. What's up? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Another live stream, 7 o'clock. 6:59 actually. Eastern Standard Time. The summer, the summer, the summer, the summer. Why? Why? Why does it always have to be 85 degrees? I'm going to stop bitching about it, but it's just annoying. You fully support Trump 2028. But yeah, okay, man, we understand. I mean, I appreciate the $2 donations, but I mean, remember you said you were gonna stop and you were gonna go somewhere else and spread your message. We understand your message. Your message, trust me, your message has been received on this channel. I've received. I hear you loud and clear. Maybe it's time to. I mean, I don't know, man. Another channel is showing a missing 1 minute from another tape was found. Well, didn't they say they were going to find it? They said they were going to contact the jail. They said the jail specifically has every single day. I don't know if it's from 11:59 to midnight. That's what I would assume, where there's 1 minute that's missing because it's has something to do with the way it records. I'm not sure. 90 in Oklahoma, 95 in Florida, 85% humidity. Yeah, I mean, but really, it's just like, whether it's 90 or 82, I mean, it's hot. It's just hot, man. Give me like a 62 degrees. I could wear a nice long sleeve shirt. It'd be great. I still wear jeans. Thank you for streaming. Yeah, no problem. This stuff must be really bad on both sides if both sides will talk about it. Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying in my tweet. I said, well, liberals don't want to touch it. You know, liberals had 4 years. If Trump was really in it, they should be angry. Where's the liberal outcry if they really think Trump is in these files? They had 4 years to get Trump on something. They let him win the election without getting him on something. No, I mean, none of it really adds up. But you know, there's a common denominator here, if we're being honest, and there's a foreign involvement. And that was never going to get out. And I guess Trump, they felt comfortable having Trump squash it. But now they're just saying it never existed. Now it's like next level bad. It's almost so bad you have to think there's something else to it. Epstein unalived himself. The list is fake. Yeah, but you have to understand, even if you want to say that, there's a reason you keep a list. You keep a list. It's to blackmail. And Pam Bondi said there was. I mean, I guess she's saying now she didn't say it was a list. She said it was the files, but I mean, she said she had some serious stuff, and suddenly she doesn't. But I mean, there's been other lists that have been released as well. Or no, I think there were flight logs. Could it be possible that Cash and everyone genuinely wanted to expose the files, but when they got in, they were stopped by someone? I mean, I think there's a lot of components to it. I think when you get in, you realize it's a little bit different ballgame than just prancing around and doing. And also Trump, I mean, it's not like Trump was gung-ho about getting this released either. You look at what Trump said previously before the election. I mean, he wasn't adamant about this being released. He said, yeah, we'll do it. But it's also interesting how the administration, it would almost be better for them just to shut up about it rather than do this, because what they're saying is likely blatantly false. And it seems like a cover-up. So why wouldn't they just not say anything and just say, oh, we don't know, it'll come out? Because they come out with the phase 1. If there's a phase 1, you think there's going to be a phase 2. The phase 1 was already botched, but you'd think at least there's going to be a phase 2. Now they're saying, okay, we lied. There's no phase 2. It doesn't exist. The files don't exist. It's all just, disgusting content from Epstein filming it himself, I guess they're insinuating. The Trump deflection today was embarrassing. Then Pam said, I'll get back to you when asked if he's a government asset. Yeah, it's all. I mean, but this stuff today with Trump, the thing is Trump should have just stayed quiet. They didn't even ask Trump the question. They asked Bondi the question, and then Trump jumped in and said, why do you care about Epstein? Well, it's because your DOJ put out a memo. Your DOJ put out a memo saying that he was basically innocent. So obviously people are going to ask about it. I think Trump just wants it to go away, but Axios apparently is reporting now that Trump is talking about going after Iran again. Really? I'm gonna have to look that. I'm gonna have to look that up. I mean, Axios sometimes has bad scoops, but yeah, did you see this with Grok being pro Hitler and stuff, and people talking about that? There were a bunch of tweets I saw about that. Is this Grok 4? Is this their updated version of it? I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. This stuff with Iran, it's gonna be like, who knows what to believe on that. Doesn't matter if Trump isn't in the files anymore. It's clear he's covering up something. Yeah, no, I agree with you. We could kind of defend him to a degree until recently. I mean, now they're just blatantly lying, and so it's a problem for the administration. And I mean, even Pam Bondi, it's obvious she lied. So I mean, it's a big issue. How much will the Epstein issue divide Trump's base? I think there's a lot of people that are going to. It's going to simmer for a few days, and people will still say, "Well, Trump's the better option." And stuff. I mean, I don't think it's going to be catastrophic. The only problem that I would have is maybe some of these moderate right wingers straying away during the midterms because of the America Party. That would be the issue. Because the thing is, with the America Party, Elon could say, "Well, it's a uniparty thing, and they're both complicit in covering this up." But the Democrats don't give a shit about this cover up. They're going to vote Democrat. There could be some people on the right that are very upset that Trump is doing this. And, Musk has said, "Oh, we're going to release the Epstein files," whatever, that's what he said. That's his priority. I don't even know how are you going to get power to do that. But this is all just pandering. He's got this new party. He knows it's a big uniparty problem. This is what he's talked about with the uniparty, Republicans and Democrats being the same. And I mean, Biden had the list for 4 years. He had the files for 4 years, supposedly. Total bullshit. Does Trump not care about the children that were being used like Epstein, still being used like Epstein did to them? Totally pissed. Yeah, no, it's really bad. I agree. And it was a really bad answer he had today. He said people need to move on and forget about it, and it's not important anymore. Which doesn't really make any sense considering his DOJ is insinuating Epstein's is like innocent. Or, I mean, it just doesn't add up. Nobody's going to Mike Pence, Mark Cuban, and Elon. Yeah, but it was never going to be Mike Pence. That was a troll. That was a troll. He's not going to Mike Pence. But it's also not even, it's not. That's not even about the general election. It's about the midterms with that party. Should I have just said he was a agent and there's ongoing investigations? Yeah, they should have just said right when they got into the. This is what I think they should have done when they got into the White House. They should have just said everything's been destroyed, or you have to keep it open ended. You can't close it and say this because it's just going to make people more angry because everybody knows you're lying. So just leave it open ended. But the problem is they gave all of these timelines. They released the first phase of the files, whatever it was. I don't even know. It turned out to be a bust, and so they're talking a big game, and then they say, "Oh nope, turns out none of it's. We're closing the chapter on it." I mean, they kind of did it to themselves with the way that they were the botched release of it. They bring everyone's expectations up, and then. Anyone covering for Trump is a sheep, and that's all. He's no better than the people in the swamp he's claimed to get rid of. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on really who's all in. I mean, yeah, there is some uniparty problems with the Epstein stuff because Trump is doing the same thing that possibly you could even argue worse. The Democrats ignored it. Trump said it doesn't exist. You trust this DOJ and FBI to fight crime more than AG Barr and Merrick Garland? If we caught pedos on our watch, we would prosecute. The list is fake. Yeah, I think there's a lot. There's a lot with foreign entanglement within the list, and that's probably a big reason, man. I mean, the list is fake, but what about the files that they supposedly had? Are those real or fake? Incriminating files. I mean, I understand this would be, becomes a witch hunt with the administration if you release all this stuff. And Epstein case reminds me of the Nuremberg trials, how the SS pretended that Holocaust never happened and how they had no idea the crimes were done. Well, I mean, it really, it's just like it's an insult to everyone to be saying this. And then for Trump to say, well, move on, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Your memo
This is what Trump said.
and released yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of his death?
Yeah, sure.
Could I just interrupt? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Mr. President, on the tariffs first.
And that's it. That's it on Epstein. So, yeah, that was the moment where Trump kind of cuts in and says nobody should care about it, and then Bondi tries. I mean, we'll see what happens with that minute, supposedly, that was missing. But, I mean, wouldn't the correct question to Bondi be, why was it reported by everyone that the cameras weren't working? Now they're working? Now they were working, I guess? You did not vote for Trump to release the files, Cope. Yeah, but this makes him look really bad. I mean, this was like, you could say it's a minor thing in the in domestic policy, but I mean, man, the chat is aggressively moving. The chat is aggressively moving today. Camera minute doesn't mean anything. Camera pointing the wrong way with a timestamp. They could have. Now, technically, the camera was not pointing the wrong way. It just was not. It's not pointing at his. It's within his jail cell. The camera, I mean, is pointing at the corridor that leads to his jail cell. So it technically was pointing at the right thing, or you could see it, but I mean, you know, I to me it just seems like a half-baked thing. If they were going to deny it the entire time, and they said the cameras weren't working, which only incriminates them even more, why would they then wait 7 years or whatever to come out with a video that says, "Oh, we've got it," and it proves it? Why wouldn't you release that right away? So it really doesn't. It just doesn't make any sense. Are these your people saying I didn't vote for the files to be dropped? Well, I mean, I don't know. People are, you know, people vote for deportations. They vote for things. Everyone votes for something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the files was a small issue when we were talking about domestic U.S. policy. But it's like all these people from other countries, they say they're like Republicans and now they're against Trump. I don't know. It's a weird psyop. But no, I think Trump should have released the files and or whatever if they're there. I mean, there should have been better communication, right? There should have been better communication from the administration. Even if they weren't going to release them, there's ways to do it to try and to just silence the situation rather than do what they're doing. They're making it 10 times worse than it needed to be, is basically what I'm saying. And it's a bad thing. Per flight log docs, Bill Clinton was on 26 flights. Yeah, but I mean, it goes a lot deeper than that. You remember there was a Polymarket list who was on the who's going to be on the list, and Bill Clinton was at like a 70% chance. I mean, they're claiming basically everyone was on the list now in both parties, so nobody wanted it released, and whether it got destroyed, whether it's been long destroyed. Have you heard about Germany and their police sending illegals across to Poland to the point German police are using drone jammers? No, I haven't heard that about Germany and illegal immigration. Well, Germany at this point's a lot more left than Poland is. Are we really supposed to believe none of these politicians knew they were risking blackmail by associating with Epstein? No way. Wait, this is too oversimplified. Yeah, but I mean, I also think that, you know, there's a number of them that probably declined to participate in any of that stuff. There's probably a lot of them that declined. It's not like he got all of them to. Trump promised to release the files. He gave us nothing except stuff we already knew. A promise broken. Yeah, well, the only thing they gave us was like security footage. That was crap. I mean, it's unfortunate. What are the chances there's actually no list? Well, I mean, the chances are pretty high. A lot of the evidence has been long destroyed because there's too many powerful people involved that could destroy it within the government. So the chances are probably pretty high. The problem is, you know, what Pam Bondi said was, you know, she had stuff and they had hours of things, but now she's saying, well, the hours of things were the you know, assaults against children and stuff. So she didn't want to release it. But I mean, what is that with Epstein? I mean, I don't know. But there's a high chance a lot of it's been destroyed, just because when you've got a lot of powerful people involved, I mean, they're going to get rid of it. Bad activities aren't listed on a client list like a homework assignment. Right. Well, I think the client list, like what it proves, you could get a concrete look at who went to the island, and then that they're they become basically guilty by association. Were the powerful people involved in Epstein, or did they just know what was going on? Well, I mean, it's probably both. I'm sure a lot of them were involved and wanted it destroyed, and a lot of them were not involved and they wanted to cover their friends who were involved. I mean, it's all one, and that's the issue. That's what Musk is talking about with the uniparty, to where it's both of them. I mean, yeah, like the fact that the liberals didn't do anything, they didn't release anything. I mean, it's the same thing. Nixon famously said, "quote It's not the crime that gets you; it's the cover up." Oh yeah, I mean, this is kind of it. We'll see how long this people stay on this. I mean, it definitely is a terrible look, and you have to admit it as Republicans. It's a really bad look. If a client list was good enough, Epstein could just make up a list and use it to blackmail. See how that doesn't make any sense? There's no list, only video evidence would work. Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's what they were talking about, there being some type of video, but I guess it didn't involve what they're saying anyone outside of Epstein. That's what Trump's lawyer was saying. There was hundreds of hours of video that was very graphic and very bad. But I mean, there's also photos of these people on the island, and so that's going to be used as blackmail 100% if he's got that. You're starting to doubt the administration. Well, I mean, this is not a good look to do this. It's not a good response from Trump. It's poor communication. Sorry, I can't stand this. So much Trump cope from some people. His administration fumbled the Epstein situation. He didn't even have to touch it. Yet it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like it's an unforced error for Trump. They could have just left it alone, But they're doing something even worse. They're saying, well, it doesn't exist. Yeah, it was a honeypot, but even if you just have photos of people there, that's good enough blackmail. No, no. You think we're gonna get killed in midterms because of this? I mean, the only thing I think that could hurt would be the American Party, but I don't know, man. I mean, people have short attention spans. They do. It's you see these situations that happen in the news, and then a week later, people are on to the next thing. I mean, backtracking on deportations too. No, that was turned out to be a lie. He's not giving amnesty to anyone. It's been reported. Trump said, no, we're not doing the amnesty. What it is we have to give select visas to people in labor industries like farming, because there's too many illegals working. They're not gonna have this. They're not gonna have the labor force to be able to keep it up. I guess I don't know. There's all these illegals working on farms. They can't find American labor. I guess that's what they're saying. But Trump said no. We're not giving anyone amnesty. That was a lie. Trump wearing a yellow tie is not what I voted for. He's wearing it for Ukraine. He's sending them more weapons. So, with the Ukrainian flag. They can't find American labor for $12 an hour. Oh, no way. You have to pay them more. They don't want to do it. They want to cut costs. Illegals working on a farm for 20 years. Is this made up idea? You want to see an interview with someone in that category? I mean, dude, but I don't know about 20 years, but certainly there's been some tenured people that are illegal working on farms. But honestly, you're probably right. These people probably working like for 2 years, then they say it's 20 because they want to be able to keep them. And so when you say, well, they've worked all these years and they haven't done anything bad, you can kind of do. They just want cheaper labor. And they're not paying Americans what Americans would want to be able to, to have to work that. That's the manual labor, outdoor labor. Vance was chilling in his pool at a party you were at. I haven't heard anything from Vance recently, honestly. Yeah, someone was saying they didn't hear Vance say anything or make a statement on this. Once they're on work visas, it's definitely minimum wage, $20 an hour. In California. Yeah, in California is going to be a lot because the cost of living. But they could get them. There's still like $12 minimum wage in certain states they'll get them for. Memory isn't that short. It's going to be used as ammo, and you can't deny that. Right, but who is it going to be used by ammo? By liberals? Couldn't they have released it? I guess Musk can use it as ammo, but I don't see how they use it as ammo. Why didn't they release the list if they're this obsessed with Trump not releasing it? That wasn't a lie. Trump said it during his 4th of July rally. No, 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 no. He didn't say amnesty. It was like a temporary visa program. Trust me, I saw his updated statement today. And he didn't say that. He didn't say that it was going to be amnesty at the rally either. I'll try and look up some news. Criminal investigations by Patel and Bongino against John Brennan and James Comey. They're trying to, they're trying to sweep the Epstein stuff up, and so this is their way to try and do it, I guess. A nice distraction. We'll see if it works with the base. Why hand out white? 100%. It makes no sense what they're doing. And think about what they handed out. They handed out phase one. They handed out phase one. So what is that? So there's going to be a phase two. It's not even like they just handed out something and it was a disaster. They handed out something insinuating there would be another part. And then they say it doesn't exist. I guess the other part doesn't exist. To me, this completely wipes out all the good stuff Trump has done. You need to calm down. You need to calm down and take a step back. Releasing the Epstein list would cause the economy to crash. People like Bill. No, and that's what I've said as well. There would be a serious domestic problem, probably, if the people that if there are seriously very powerful people on it, if it still exists, it'd cause a serious problem within the economy, I think. But I mean, that could just be us, You should still think they'd release it because they should do it. Netanyahu, Trump discuss coordinated strikes on Iran following rumors of Iranian nuclear program reconstruction, according to Axios. Yeah, but Axios always has those. They do it every week. Why would Trump leak to Axios that they were going to plan more strikes? Is Trump going to get Putin and Zelensky to agree to ceasefire soon? The war is so tiring. Hey, I don't think so. I mean, who knows? You never know when a ceasefire could come. It just depends on if Russia wants to do it or not. He's supplying Ukraine to try and force Russia's hand. But I don't know if it's going to work. Extremely powerful people with tons of money can get whatever perverted action they want at any time. I mean, yeah, but why is there a paper trail with it, with a bunch of powerful people? Like Prince Andrew. I mean, I think there's probably more. You think you're discounting it a little bit. Deportations aren't happening and won't happen. Well, they've already started them. They've started the deportation. So why do you think there was all that liberal anger? Now, whether or not they're able to deport the amount that they say they are, listen. The problem with the deportations is, if there's 40 million illegals in the country, it's just it's not going to matter if we deport. I mean, if we do deport the really bad ones, then yeah, that's very good. But if you deport 4 million and there's still 40 million more in, and this is over Trump's period where they call Trump very right wing or whatever, because that's what the liberals do. They say Trump is this, very right figure. So this is even with Trump, we can only get like 1%, 5% of the illegal population out of the country. How is this even going to, I saw something where apparently Iran deported 500,000 people in a month. I mean, if you can get these, just get these. I mean, we need to move faster, but we can't because of all. It's just the way it is in the United States. Just admit y'all have trust issues. Trump told you the truth. Cash and Pam would not lie to the American people. There is no Epstein list. Yeah, but I mean, we got to stop coping about it. I think. I mean, I hear what you're saying. It's easier for a dictatorship to deport. Well, absolutely it is. But I'm just saying. I mean, if they can get rid of 500,000 people and deport them. Trump is a moderate, nothing far right. Well, I mean, yeah, but this is, to be fair, this is what happens in politics. Anyone on the left calls anyone on the right really far right. And then people on, people that are further to the right call anyone on the left very far left. I mean, it's just like the same thing. They just call your enemies very far. I mean, I would say, I guess Trump is just establishment right. Mm-hmm. What is this? Oh, it's about his flags? Yeah. It's just not symmetrical. That's the problem. Take the L on Epstein issue and move on because there's nothing anyone can do about it, unfortunately. Well, yeah, I mean, there's really, it is what it is with this. I mean, they handled it terribly too. On top of it, without client list, people on flight logs look bad. Yeah, well, it's like guilt by association because there's no actual, there's no other smoking gun outside of that. I guess you could say. All right, I'll be right back.
If a communist gets elected to run New York, it can never be the same, but we have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to.
That's what I wanted to key in on. Sorry about that, everybody. I thought I had the right clip, but I guess I didn't. So, well, I did, but it was not clipped down. So, he's talking about Mamdani and communists in New York, and we can't have that. It's going to destroy the city, and we don't want communism in this country. And then he brought up D.C., and then he said those words where...
If a communist gets elected to
run
New York, it can never be the same.
But listen to this.
We have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to.
We have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to, right? Talking about D.C.
We can run D.C. I mean, we're looking at D.C. We don't want crime in D.C.
Right. So we don't want crime in D.C. We know nothing is changing. It's not getting any better. It's horrible. And so they have the ability to step in and do something.
Sorry about that. Scale of 1 to 10, how much of the entire Epstein story was public expectations building itself, for how much of it was evidence, commitments to facts? Well, I think the Epstein story now really revolves around foreign intelligence. And also there's smoking gun photos of high-level people there, so that's going to stroke the flames of it. And also there's a lot of I mean, what did the Biden administration do during this? Was there any investigations done by them? There's just a lot of the high-level government. The government doesn't seem too keen on investigating this. It seems like there's a high incentive to not look into it. And obviously now it seems like it's for sure. Did you see Grok becoming a red-pilled noticer? Yeah, I saw that they had to delete tweets on that. I saw. Did they release the Grok 4? Is that what it is? You should really do a video on Epstein. It's not too early. Yeah, I mean, I actually am thinking about doing a video on Epstein. I think it would be good. But it's like, because, I mean, it's probably bad for the Trump administration. I don't know if I'll do a video on Epstein. But it would probably be good for me to do it just to find some other information. Yeah, these people with this kid, this like yeah, they're obsessed with this dude. I don't know why.
Breaking news, Brooks Singman of Fox News Digital has discovered exclusively that the FBI is now investigating the former CIA Director John Brennan and the former FBI Director James Comey in conjunction with the genesis of the Russia investigation. This comes after the CIA declassified last week a report into how that all came about. Let's bring in our panel to talk more about this. Annie Linsky, the White House reporter for the Wall Street Journal, USA Today White House correspondent, Francesca Chambers, and Josh Holmes, co-host of the Ruthless podcast and former chief of staff to Senator Mitch McConnell.
And so they bring this out to try and distract from the Epstein stuff. But maybe it'll work. We'll see if people will buy it. Let's not be biased over Trump. We need accountability regardless, right or wrong. Yeah, I agree. People are mad at Trump. A lot of Republicans are.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Was that Texas?
Oh my god!
Mexico.
Oh god!
That's a different flood. Jake Tapper calls on the administration to release the Epstein list.
So what's really going on here? I mean, what's really going on? Well, experts, such as our friend Julie Brown from the Miami Herald, who's been covering Epstein for years, say that the notion of Epstein having an easy-to-access client list is likely a red herring. And that's what the Trump administration is relying on, that there likely isn't a list per se. But they are also now relying on the fact that because it's MAGA influencers who often put forward so many falsehoods, legacy news media won't push the point, that while there might not be a list, there are certainly files that can be released. There's a trove of information that the Trump administration is right now refusing to share. Information that could well point to the powerful folks who availed themselves of the sex trafficking victims of Jeffrey Epstein. If you go, for example, to the FBI vault online, you can see that there are 22 files containing thousands of pages. Most of them are heavily redacted. Now, sure, of course, redact the names and identifying characteristics of the victims. But why not make the victim and witness testimonies public? As Julie Brown points out, there's still so much we don't know from the investigations by U.S. attorneys in Miami and in New York, witness interviews in the U.S. Virgin Islands and New Mexico. Brown writes that there's still more evidence that hasn't been published, including, quote, Epstein kept video cameras in most of his residences, and Epstein's autopsy, nor the report of the investigation into his death, has ever been made public. So while there may not be an official client list to be released, as the administration is now saying, there's a lot of extra information that is not being made public, despite Trump's Justice Department basically now saying case closed. This isn't going to go away. The public, you're being played for fools here.
But if people forget about it, it goes away. But I mean, yeah, if they could at least make the witness testimony public, they could just make the witness testimony public. That'd be it. And then I think people would be happy, but they don't want to do it. You're beefing in my chat with the Fuentes lover. The Fuentes lover again. Yeah. It's every day. People won't forget about it because they were talking about it in 2020, 2021. Yeah, but I mean, what do you mean? So what do we have to like scale how much they'll base this? You know, like in 3 months. You know, if there's another situation in the Middle East, people are gonna. You know, it's just how the news works. I know this is a bad look for Trump. I get it, but I think if we look, we step back and gain more perspective. You know how attention spans and how short they are. I think it's a bad look. I do, and yeah, they should at least release some of the testimony. He's right. I mean, he's right, absolutely, but. You and a lot of other creators rely on Grok far too much when they all have warnings that they can be wrong. I don't use Grok. Epstein will be continued to be used as a political football, just like JFK. I'll release them. I'll release them. Yeah, but I mean, even like JFK, did him saying he would release the JFK files win him the election? There's no way. You know, these are domestic economic issues that win you elections and immigration and stuff like that. Releasing certain files isn't going to win or lose you an election. Oh my goodness. Any tips on how to pick up chicks? I'm desperate. Well, it depends. I mean, I'd say you got to go out and meet them in public, but I don't do that either. But you can't do it online. You're gonna get the online's no good. Are you drinking? No, I'm not. This is not a Wendy's. This is not Wendy's. This is Get Go. This is Get Go lemonade. That's the thing is if I drink this lemonade, this is a large. This is large. This is a big size. You know, that's why I have to piss all the time during some of these streams. One stream I had to piss like 3 times during it. I think it was an Israel-Iran stream, maybe. Bubble tea, yeah, right. Bubble tea. I've had bubble tea or whatever it's called. When it's a really odd feeling. It's like you suck. No, this is what it is. You suck on small balls. I mean, that's what it is. There's balls in the drink. Yeah, it's. I'm not gonna say. I mean, it's just. Put up a piss counter. I don't have to piss that much to put up a fucking piss counter, but I might put up. You know, I'm closing in on 300K. This is a big night when we hit 300K. I think it might be in August, but it maybe if I do some videos on some topics, I think I might be able to get it sooner. There's bowls in the drinks. I mean, they're small bowls. Britain should have went with their first plan of putting the Israelis in Madagascar. You know what? I've actually studied the Madagascar idea. That was before World War II, I remember. This is the first time you've heard me say an F-bomb. Need more unfiltered videos. No, I don't swear very much. I'll only swear like, I don't know, the chat can say. I don't swear very much, honestly. I don't swear during the videos because it's bad for ads, for ad revenue. Thoughts on Tucker talking to Iran's president? I mean, he does that. That's not surprising. Yeah, he did it with Putin, and I don't know. I'd have to see how it goes. You know, when there's a language barrier, it's kind of hard to conduct interviews that have any substance. The files debacle was a runaround. This is just an outright lie and betrayal. Yeah, I mean, it is. 100% it is just, they're just shoving it to the ground, basically, and saying it doesn't exist. rather than just ignoring it. It would be better to ignore it, you would think. But I think there's some other people that wanted it completely eliminated. And they think with the Trump administration, they could get it eliminated. Maybe not with another administration. How hot is Pam Bondi? Levitt is way hotter than Bondi. Trump approval rating, it's about -3 right now, I think. It's -3. Are you ever going to rage quit for any reason? Feel like this was promised? I mean, I think I said I would rage quit off of the election night stream if Trump lost, but that was like one of the easiest streams. I mean, because he was never losing. Any of the Epstein stuff tie with Thomas Crooks? I don't see how. I don't. Well, not in any like way that. I don't know. The problem with me talking about it is I just don't know anything about Crooks. It's just such an unknown. I mean, there could be levers that pushed Crooks that also want the Epstein stuff destroyed for sure. But the Crooks stuff is just such an unknown commodity. Anyone checking on Alex Jones relating to the situation? Yeah, I saw Alex. He was in his car and he was like, I'm about to throw up. And he said he was going to cry because he does not like, what's happening, I guess. Truth or dare take Bondi on a date? I don't even know what does that mean. What does that even mean? Take Bondi on a date swimming? Oh, with the AOC stuff again. Guys, AOC, go look at her recent photos. It's like people simp for AOC. I mean, I always thought AOC was really tall. It turns out she's not that tall. Trump approval rating will go up. I don't think it's going to go up after this. I mean, maybe it stays the same. It's possible it stays the same.
Emailed me.
They emailed like an email from the
DNC.
Okay.
And they said, hey, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are really interested in being on your show. I said, that sounds cool.
Okay.
I'll at least get to tell my daughter that I met the potential president of the United States.
Yeah.
And so I said yes, based on the fact that it would be a good story. And also they both had good takes.
What happened with Kamala?
Her take was really confusing and weird and not good. And so mutually agreed that we shouldn't publish it.
I see.
And I got lucky because I didn't want to be blamed for her losing.
Her take was that bad?
It was really, really bad, and it was like didn't make any sense. I can tell you this.
Adam, I appreciate it. All the ladies tell me, give me your resources. We love you. Yeah, you could use that as an opening pickup line. Give me your resources. 60-year-old Pam Bondi, bum Gino, Paki Patel, or a disgrace. Fire them now. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say that because that sounds that relates to another historical event, but. Oh, man. I gotta stop drinking this, whatever the fuck this lemonade is. My bladder turns into a fucking... Turns into like a freaking water passage. It turns into like a freaking... it turns into like a raisin. I mean, I have to constantly piss. Look up Pam Bondi at what on X. Ben Shapiro take was gross. Used to like him. Now, well, he has allegiance to Israel, so he's obviously thinks that Israel's probably involved. So I'm happy they buried it, so it doesn't get found out. You guys ever have to piss in a cup? I mean, that happens to everyone at one point. You got to piss in a cup at some points. I mean, unfortunately, when there's situations where it requires it. Trump made a deal with the Chesters Epstein had dirt on. They probably convinced him that the economy would collapse if released. Bibi is very happy. Yeah, no, I hear you. And that's why they had the celebratory dinner, so they wanted to mark it, unfortunately. That was part of the celebration dinner. But with Israel, they're like, we're going to take this a step further. You're going to say it doesn't exist. That's the level we're going to this. And then Trump's like, yes, sir. Yes. Are you standing with Trump this week or not? Well, Trump's done some bad stuff, I admit, but I respect Trump. And, I mean, Trump is my leader. And so it's important to understand that. Cult. I mean, shouldn't you normalize standing by your leader? That should be a normalized thing. We have to be done with Trump. He failed us time and time again. Yeah, but I mean, think about the overreaction to the Iran situation when people said I should be done with Trump. And it was nothing. It was a nothing burger. Wonder what's happening in Trump's head at this point. I mean, I don't know, man. I think, dude, but the thing is with Trump, he's at an age with how old he is and how many yes men he has. There's probably somebody that delicately tells him, what you said today was the base is a little bit upset. And I think he's probably like, oh, they'll get over it. I mean, that would be my guess. I don't think there's any, I don't think there's an iota of Trump that's like, oh, I messed up. Yeah, Grok has been doing this with this all day. No. Why would they did this? Why would they tweet this as a joke? They should not have done this. It's not funny. I mean, it's rapid response tries to joke about it. It's just come on. Do you like pork chops? I haven't had pork chops in a while. Rubbing it in our face. Yeah, that was bad. They shouldn't have done that. They gotta realize. They gotta read the. They gotta literally read the room. Does Tulsi get fired? I don't think Tulsi's gonna get fired. But I don't know. I mean, Tulsi had the problem with Trump. With Iran. You eat fast food. I mean, not. I mean, I guess if Chick-fil-A count, I haven't really been eating much of it recently. Much of anything fast food. I mean, does Chipotle count as fast food? But I mean, I eat like chicken from Chipotle. I don't think it really counts as fast food. Pork chops smell absolutely horrible if they aren't quite at the right temperature while cooking. I used to have pork chops when I was younger. I never. Well, they're breaded on the outside. We'd always have them breaded. Have you been working out? No, I haven't. No matter what comes out of this, it's better than a Democrat or the America Party. Yeah, I mean, the America Party is, they're loving this. Musk is loving this. I don't know what I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with that. It's impossible to say. Most transparent administration. Yeah, that's obviously it was a play on words, I think, because of what just happened. But it would love a history video on Mossad. Not sure if you made one already though. No, 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 no. I never made anything like that. I never made anything on Israeli intelligence outside of that the one video. Yeah, people need to just attack that party as like the India party. I agree. The H1B party. You'll be able to smear it pretty good. The problem is he doesn't need to siphon off much to change certain local elections. What do you think about Trump's approval rating at the end of the week? I think it's kind of irrelevant right now, man. I mean, I don't think it's going to go either way. I mean, obviously this is bad, but I don't think this really affects the approval in a crazy way. A foreign war would affect it significantly, but this, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that voted for Trump 3 times, but you're pissed off at him right now. Really crazy couple of weeks. Love from Australia. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it, man. Australia. What is it like? Daytime on Wednesday in Australia. At this point. You're saying we're overlooking Trump covering up pedos? Well, what about your party that supposedly had this information for 4 years? What did they do? So did Biden do the exact same thing? Go ahead and answer it. Why does Rapid Response troll? I don't know. They shouldn't be doing this. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but... Oh, we've got some major trade deals coming, it looks like. Maybe a trade deal with 7 or 8 countries. Dude, they gotta stop. Trump's flags. Probably further right. Probably. I know, but it's so easy to refute if a liberal comes at me with it. Is Trump doing amnesty? No, that was fake. He's not doing that. Search Elon Musk. What's the point, man? We with Elon, he just promotes his companies. That's about it. And then he trolls a little bit. No amnesty news was very good news. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's good that they're not doing that. What it is it's a select visa program. It's only like 100 people, they said. I'm just kidding. I made that up, but it's probably limited. Yeah, we're not doing the Vivek photo again. I already showed the Vivek photo. What does it matter? All right, here you go. I'll be right back.
There's no amnesty. What we're doing is we're getting rid of criminals, but we are doing a work program. Do you want to explain that, please?
Yeah, this morning we talked about, of course, this was a top of mind question. This morning we talked about protecting the farmers and the farmland, but obviously this president's vision of no amnesty, mass deportation continues, but in a strategic way, and then ensuring that our farmers have the labor that they need. Secretary Chavez DeRimmer has been a leader on this. Obviously this comes out of the Labor Department, but moving toward automation, ensuring that our farmers have that workforce, and moving toward an American workforce. So all of the above.
We've got to give the farmers the people they need, but we're not talking amnesty. There's no amnesty. What we're doing is we're getting rid of criminals, but we are doing a work program. Do you want to explain that, please?
Yeah, this morning we talked about, of course, this was a top of mind question. This morning we talked about protecting the farmers and the farmland, but obviously this president's vision of no amnesty, mass deportation continues, but in a strategic way, and then ensuring that our farmers have the labor.
And so they're talking about doing some type of thing there. Something about a work program. People are upset. Thank you for the donation. People are upset that some list that Epstein carried in his back pocket doesn't exist. It's been a conspiracy this entire time, in your opinion. Well, you know, it's whatever. I don't know. I mean, you know, the problem is that they've said that there's stuff that exists and they're not showing it to us. It's not gonna be. I'm not gonna have to piss again. I won't have to piss again, guys. I was able to light the room up with natural light because the sun has set behind a large tree. Palantir, huh? I lit the room up by pulling up the blinds. Trump is fighting spending by dragging us into $5 trillion in more debt. What liberal site did you read that off of? There's been no calculations that say it's $5 trillion. The number that I saw was, I think, 3.4. But that's not even, it's buddy boy. You understand how they calculate that number, right? They're basically saying, well, Trump is adding this much debt. No. These are extended tax cuts. They're basically saying the tax cuts don't exist, but they already exist. We put the tax cuts in place in 2017. So they were anticipating Trump removing the tax cuts. He just extended the tax cuts. And then they say, oh, he adds all this debt. Well, we don't know that. If the economy grows, it'll cancel it out. What did you do to Happy Ginger? Where is he? That's an odd individual that shows up. I don't know what happened to him. I didn't touch him. I'm not sure. Oh, man. Vivek is going to win governor of Ohio, I think. I think he's got it. He's been talking a lot about, bringing the H-1B. He's been talking about mainstreaming and fast-tracking the H-1B process in Ohio. R.I.P. Happy Ginger, long live Dark Ginger. I don't remember the Dark Ginger existing. I don't remember that name on here. Maybe it probably did. Yeah, it probably did during the election. I'll live in Newer Delhi when he comes to Ohio. Yeah, he's been campaigning around and he's been showing a lot of imagery from India. He is obsessed with H-1Bs. No, I'm kidding. I mean, Vivek, he's probably going to win because Trump endorsed him. But maybe Jim Tressel will beat him. The superstar coach. I think Ohio is going to secede and be a super country. Trestle ball, vote Trestle, American Patriot. Legos are expensive, but did you just build a set at a time instead of doing a whole train set? No, Legos in the United States are really overpriced. They've got a monopoly on it. They've ran up the prices. Legos are they're terrible. They're terrible now. The Legos, the Lego American company has a monopoly on building blocks, and they've destroyed the market with their price markups. And they marked everything up because they said, well, the pandemic, but then they don't bring it back down. It's the same thing with all this stuff. They'll do certain things during the pandemic, they say we have to keep it on, and then they never change it. Make a Lego Fordo facility in Iran. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, now Axios is trying to say, well, Trump's going to bomb Iran again. Trump never said that. Trump is not... Spurs' new arena going to pass? I don't know. I mean, apparently that's a multi-billion-dollar project. I think it's like a $7 billion project, or no, it's like a $4 billion project because they're redoing the Alamo Dome as well. Will MAGA outlast Trump, or will it carry over to JD Vance? I don't know if JD Vance is up for the task. Maybe he is. I'm not sure. You ever visited the graves of George Washington, Hitler, and his Dr. Gay son in Pickaway County? I'm not sure what you just said, sir. Thank you for the donation. MAGA dies with Trump. Yeah, I mean, even if Trump endorses Vance and like campaigns for him, I don't know if it's just hard. It's hard to really know how many people will go out and support him because Trump gets a lot of voters that normally wouldn't come out for elections. Oh, I gotta go piss again. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. It's hard to imagine MAGA outlasting Trump when Trump is the face of MAGA. Yeah, JD Vance is trying to make something else. He's gonna try and make a new movement. I don't know if it's gonna work out for him. Who knows, man? Who knows with these politicians, and they just do what they're told. I mean, there's nothing really behind it, but Vance is going to try and do something. Rubio is going to try and do something. Hegseth is going to... No, I'm kidding. Imagine if Hegseth tried running. There's going to be a lot of people, but, I think it'll be Vance. What's with the Vivek Sims in your chat? Denounce. Do a lot of people like Vivek in the chat? No way, man. Vance can easily get Trump support. Trump is doing a lot of lame shit that Vance can work off of and also remain MAGA. It's totally possible. I can sense the sarcasm. Yeah, it's not going to be Vivek in 2028. If people want Vivek to be it's not going to be him. He already got booted from the administration because of his tweet. Remember that? He was going to be part of Doge. And then they said, well, he's just going to run for governor now. But, I mean, you don't need a year to freaking campaign for governor. He's saying like 2 years to campaign in a primary. The Epstein stuff could create another Pence situation. I doubt it. But does Vance really... But what would happen to Vance's career? Do you think people would be on Vance's side? I don't know, man. That would just divide everyone if that happened with Vance going against Trump, if that's what you're insinuating like Pence did. But that was after Trump lost when Pence went against Trump. It's a little bit different after you lose and you're not going to be you're not the VP anymore. And Trump obviously was aggressively pursuing... trying to get evidence to flip the election. You were told by insiders that Trump will run in 2028. Well, that's big news. You're definitely connected, so I have to trust you on that. If you're in Switzerland, I mean, it's like 2 a.m. in Switzerland. I don't know what you're doing, man. Vance's career would die out. Yeah, I can't see Vance pretty much ever going against Trump unless something extraordinary happened that just doesn't... There's no way Vance, who right now, he's the heavy favorite to be the nominee. And I mean, you have a decent chance to, if you're the nominee, I mean, you got like a 50-50 shot against a Democrat, so he's the heavy favorite. I don't think he's going to mess that up. Even with any of this stuff that comes out against Trump, people are not going to turn on Trump. They're just not going to. Trump is seen as just the ultimate leader of the country. And so when you have someone like that, they're just not going to turn on him. Is the country going to continue being... Yeah, there's going to be a lot of polarization, I would say. They're probably just going to go to... But I mean, once Trump is gone, you know, politics is just going to be... I don't know. I don't think the country is going to do well at all. Because I just can't see, even with Trump, who we can say, well, at least he's pushed for certain things... He can't even deport people at a rate that's anywhere close to acceptable. Maybe Vance will. I don't know. But I think Vance is just... He's just a suit. Maybe he's not. I don't know. I'd have to watch more of him, I guess. There's just, you know, with these politicians, you got to see him for like multiple years and stuff. And so... I mean, I think Vance talks good, but I think Vance operates better as a VP. But I guess that's just him being young and he'll grow into it, maybe. Did you actually drive somewhere to buy a giant lemonade? This seems impossible. Seems like you have horses or a wagon. No, I actually drove somewhere to buy a giant lemonade. Seriously, I'm not kidding. 2016 Trump compared to 2025 Trump is so crazy. He has lost some capabilities. Yeah, I mean... I don't know. I think Trump is more refined now, but he's definitely less strict on certain issues that we liked originally in 2016. But he's more refined, I would say. Tucker 2028. I don't think Tucker would ever run. And Tucker has the whole thing now where, you know, people just kind of say, well, he's just, you know, basically Candace Owens 2.0. So it's hard for him to... He would certainly get some support from people who are very anti-Israel, but... Trump is way more refined and sharp now than in 2016. Well, it's also... He had never been a governor... a mayor or anything. And so when you go in and I mean, he has no relationships. Now he's got relationships. His cabinet is stacked a lot better in his liking. And so that's another part of it. But you're going to come in more refined. You get 4 years off and then you go back in. You're going to be better at it, hopefully. Chick-fil-A diet lemonade. Yeah, Chick-fil-A does have good lemonade. Chick-fil-A is always so busy. It's like you really can't go to Chick-fil-A just to get a lemonade. You're going to be sacrificing, it's like an investment of 30 minutes. You know, it's like Chick-fil-A is near the Costco, and it's a problem. It's just a problem with Costco. I wish our Costco would close down. I think it would be great for our city. It would be like a character building moment for our city. We cannot rely on Costco anymore. Let's just go. Actually, you know what? It'd probably cause more traffic and everything, but it's just like, let's just not, I mean, the Costco is just out of control. Trump needs to pick up the deportation numbers. Well, that's why he got the funding for it. This is the problem with the deportation numbers, bro. If we deport 1 million, that's not enough. Maybe it is if they get a bunch of self-deportations, but it seems like it has to be more. Opinion on In-N-Out. I've only had it once. Because I don't live in the areas where In-N-Out is. But I mean, I don't know. You know, I could, burgers are good. I mean, it's a fast food burger place. I used to never get burgers. I never get burgers when I went to McDonald's. I would get chicken nuggets when I go to McDonald's. So I normally don't get fast food burgers unless I have to go to like a burger place, like Five Guys. But I've never been to Five Guys in a while. You know, these places, they just, I don't know, they're expensive. You could do 1 million from LA. Deport 1 million from LA in a week. Panda Express. What is that, Chinese food? Yeah, I don't know about fast food Chinese food. Trump needs to make it a full-scale military operation. Yeah, I mean, look at Iran being able to deport 500K people in a month. Will Trump issue preemptive pardons like Biden did? Yeah, Trump's going to have to pardon himself. I mean, let's be honest here. We understand how politics works. Trump's actually... Well, listen. Trump is not going to be pardoning anyone. If Vance wins, then Vance will pardon Trump. If Vance loses, Trump will pardon himself during the lame duck period. You're drinking something from DoorDash, there's a chance there's semen in it. Well, think about it. If you order stuff, there's just no way you're going to order from DoorDash. If you order something from DoorDash, you know, this is how they bring it to you. Well, actually, you know, this would be out, but this is how they bring it to you. You just have to... I mean, are you going to trust people? These people, you know, with DoorDash, these are not people that you can trust. I'm sorry. What if it was 2,000 a year? Yeah, but even 2,000. I mean, I don't know how many people are here. You know, even Charlie Kirk said there were 25 to 50 million illegals here. So if that number is even close to right, it's a big problem. Even if you get 8 million out total. I mean, but then you're talking about maybe a lot of self-deportations as well. You know, they said it costs $20,000 to deport a single person because of all the infrastructure that's needed and like the due process and all that shit. I can't believe that it costs $20,000. We have a big problem. We have a problem that's, I don't think it's solvable in any way with what we have currently. It just doesn't seem solvable. $50 is crazy. Yeah, I didn't know it was that many. I was told it was 17 to 22, and then they said, well, no, it's 25 to 50. In terms of like millions of illegals here. I mean, I guess there's so many in California. They're just all clustered in California, and just that's why California's got like 5 electoral votes that it shouldn't have, or at least 3. Karen Bass sues the... Oh my goodness. Dude, I can't do it with these liberals. They're just constant bitching. So Karen Bass now has just enacted her 20th lawsuit, and they're deporting people that are illegal, and they can't do that, and... Oh my goodness. Gavin Newsom is suing Trump for the 9,000th time because Trump breathed the wrong way and he said an illegal immigrant was a bad person and you can't do that and we must accept 40 bazillion illegals from Guatemala and the Dominican Republic and the Congo, and or else we're bad people. We're racist. We're terrible racist white people. How dare we? I'm just sick of these liberals, man. I just can't do it. 1/6 of the country is illegal. No, it'd be like 1/7, I think. I mean, yeah, if it's 50 million out of 350, but I don't think it's that much. No, but if it's 50, no. Think about it, because 50, that would be 1/7. 50 out of 350. 50 out of 300 is 1/6. 50 out of 350. But that's on the high end. Patrick Starr, you mean, Pat? You think 50 million is too much? I don't know if it's actually 50 million. It might be 30 or 40 million. Might be less than that. Hopefully it's less than that, but how do we get an accurate number on the amount of illegals? I mean, things can be done. I mean, we've secured the border. We've done that. So you can do things, but I think Trump's just ready to be like, you want a distraction? We will be conducting, what if Trump came out tonight and was like, we will be conducting a military operation on Greenland. We're going to do a distraction. Don't worry about the Epstein stuff. Greenland. Yeah, I'd like Greenland. You thinking 25 million? Yeah, I mean, you know, they said 17 to 22, but then those are the liberal numbers, so it's probably higher. And then the Republicans say 25 to 50. We want your resources. We love you. It's a nice rendition. There are 300 million citizens in the U.S., total population 350 million. But some of the 50 million illegals have green cards or visas. You'd say 20 million. So then 30 million are illegal. Imagine Trump starts launching ballistic missiles at Greenland to scare the Greenlanders into submission. Well, that would be a tough thing. That might be a bit of a problem. That might be a bit of a crime, but you know, things happen. But you know, where was this one post? This is just, isn't this great? Wait, what was it on? Yes. Trump was right about everything. Wait, is he taking that home? Is there a beeper in that? Proud father? Oh, man. It's just the timing of it. No, it's just the timing of it. Give one to Musk if Trump was right about everything. Bibi should sign it, and then they both have his signature and be worth more. Ugh. They're trolling. Oh, I don't know. I don't have my phone with me. What's Musk saying? It's more about Grok and stuff. Dude, like, what is this? This is all fake. Trump tests new USA ICBM on Fordo on accident. What does that mean? Intercontinental ballistic missile? What do you mean on accident? Like he's gonna do that? Yeah, he tries to post these clips like he says, "Yep, this is me. I'm the number one." How are you the number one ranked player in this shit, dude? You play it like 1 hour a month, and I mean, come on, dude. If I was Musk, I would never post a gameplay again. Fordo doesn't exist anymore. Well, it exists. It's just heavily damaged. I don't know. I haven't seen the total damage report on it. I wonder if they could show how much of it was actually damaged, like in percent. Maybe like 80% of it was damaged. Asmongold crashed out on Musk. Asmongold, I was told he was independent. Asmongold exposed Elon for paying someone to play on his account to level up his character. Yeah, I mean, there's no way. 43% of the U.S. is independent. Well, isn't it like 56% of the U.S. doesn't even vote? You don't understand why Elon posts the clips? Yeah, he's trying to prove something. Formerly Twitter. That's what it's still called. X ranked as the #1 news app in Israel. Do you think GOP can win the midterms? Either way, does Trump still have on the what does Trump still have on the MAGA agenda? I mean, Trump is gonna, it's the same stuff as always. The deportations, whatever the trade situation is, the tariffs, the negotiations, potentially maybe an expansion with Greenland, the Iran situation, maybe a ceasefire with Israel and Hamas, maybe a ceasefire with. I mean, now he's supporting Ukraine. He's sending them more weapons. Ohio State record prediction. I probably like 10-2, I'd say. Yeah, Dean is my AI agent. Bibi MAGA now. Well, he's always been MAGA. Isn't the minerals deal the reason Trump is sending weapons to Ukraine? Yeah, well, that's the justification, right? I mean, and technically, I mean, we can say that. If we want to be refined with, defending Trump, we are I mean, it's supposedly, but no, it's written. We're going to be getting the money back because we're going to get minerals from them. Anything we give them, we get back in minerals in terms of value. Now, how are those going to be extracted? I don't know, but that's the deal. Let's actually refine our arguments. We need your resources. Yeah, we're getting Ukraine's resources. We sent them 10 Patriot missiles. That's not going to do anything. Yeah, but apparently they're sending more now. The only reason they only sent them 10 missiles because they were running out of, I guess, the defense packages or whatever. They were running out of them domestically, and so they said, we can't send you any more. How are we going to get minerals when the Ukrainian military keeps losing mineral mines? Well, no, they have minerals all over their country. They still Ukraine is a rare earth mineral rich country. They have 5/6 of their country still intact. You say they lost a lot of the minerals in the Donbass, but I think a lot of that is natural gas and oil. Anything on Paloma here? I don't know. Mondani at 69%. Eric Adams, the main challenger. Oh, this is an Israel Hamas ceasefire. Trump Epstein files made public. 13% chance. Trump can just learn from Bibi. He managed to push Israel's Jew birth rate from 1.8 to 3 per women. If Trump is serious about birth rate and demographics of the U.S., no, that doesn't work. They've got a much smaller population. It's easier to do that. It's way easier to do. It's a completely different situation than what Israel has. With they do have an impressive birth rate, I know, but I don't think you can compare Israel to us in terms of so many different factors with population and certain things cost a lot. I mean, it's. You hear about Iraq pumping more oil out of production. Oil supply doesn't seem to be a problem. I didn't hear about that, no. But man, what a breath of what an amazing situation we've had with energy. Who votes on this? Who votes on this stuff? Will Trump deport Elon Musk? Bitcoin hit 200K. That's a tough call. 200K, come on. By July? In July? Trump doesn't care about white people. Well, no, that's not true. Why do you think he's deporting all these people and he says that, the demographics are bad and stuff? I mean, he talks about that stuff. Birth rates are a direct consequence of allowing a bunch of legal and illegal migrants, which drives up housing prices. No, I hear you. You don't have to convince. I mean, they would argue that the only reason the houses are built in the first place is through illegal labor. But I mean, technically, we had a much better situation, in the 50s and the 60s with housing prices being lower. But yeah, I mean, housing is supply and demand. If there's not enough supply, the demand is going to skyrocket the cost. What caused the spike in gasoline today? In crude oil, you mean? Was there a spike in it? I mean, it doesn't really seem to be trading terribly. It's been trending upwards. Crypto talk in the Senate tomorrow. Yep, crypto. Well, I think they're having the big crypto week next week or the week after. I think maybe next week. Swiped on 1,000 girls on Tinder, still no date. Well, it's you need to stay off of Tinder, stay off of the dating apps. You're not gonna do well. You're not gonna do well. Anyone that watches me, if you're on dating apps, it's not gonna go well for you. Epstein and Maxwell are Jews. Guess who their clients were? I appreciate the donation. Well, their clients would have been politicians. Sean, what's up? The whale. The whale enters. Will Elon seriously affect midterms? It's possible. I mean, a select number of races, it's possible he could affect midterms. Yeah, it's hard with Elon because he's so unpredictable. You just don't know if he's gonna, not care about this in 2 weeks, or I mean, you don't know. It's easy to just blame everything on illegals. They're taking our jobs, Obama era and today. Farmers are crying. Yeah, farmers are crying because they have to hire Americans. What happened to Howard Lucknick? He's still part of the administration. He is in negotiations, I think, with countries on trade deals. So, well, like Elon is a failure at being a parent. Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't care about that. He just wants the lineage. Do a poll on what car you should get. I don't even know what I would. I mean, I just want a nice luxury sedan, honestly, or something like that. Just a decent sedan. I mean, nowadays you get a decent car, it's gonna run you $30,000. I mean, it's tough. I'm gonna wait until my crypto booms and then I'll get it. I'll get something probably. I gotta wait until I have money, but I'm gonna transfer to USDC so I have it. How do we know Trump isn't just pissed because he's innocent and constantly being implicated? Yeah, no, I hear you, man. It's, we'll just blame it on Bongino and Patel. What are you holding? I was just holding my foot, honestly. The U.S. should aim for 3 women to outrun the Latin American countries, or the U.S. is gone. Mass deportation and border won't fix the issue. What do you mean 3 women? What do you mean women outrun Latin America? Are you talking about repealing the 19th? Trump's response to the Epstein question was really disgusting. Yes, Donald, we're still talking about it. Yeah, no, it was really bad. I agree. Three kids per woman. Yeah, I know. They're gonna have to do something, but there's nothing we can even do. I mean, I know what you're trying to do, and it's commendable. You're probably pretty young, but there's too many problems in the country. It's impossible. I'll be honest, man. It's impossible. If we want the country to, I mean, because you do research on immigration law, and you really understand how terrible this is. I mean, I don't even know how these people can even argue it, how bad it's gotten compared to what our founding fathers wanted. And even laws in the 1920s, 1950s, it like, compared to where it is now, like how the country was built, people have just such a warped view of how the country was actually built, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I don't know. I don't really see how it can really be fixed, because the thing is, if they deport 1 million, I don't see how that's, you know, we can sit here and brag about it for Trump, but yeah, we'll just brag about it for Trump. But in the grand scheme of things, the actual answer is, you know, that's not gonna move the needle, I don't think. Trump goes off on reporter. Did that recently happen? Our founding fathers were also illegal. Our founding fathers created everything, man. They're illegal. In what sense are they illegal? They created a new country. Are they illegal in America? No, because they created it. I mean, technically, you could argue the Native Americans were illegal because they migrated here over the Bering Strait. They were illegal, dude. Dude, the Native Americans were illegal. You see, it's a retarded argument. Yeah, they are settlers. That is the correct term. Remember the digital border between New York and Ireland? Was it Ireland? I thought it was the UK, or I think it was London. I think it was London and New York. Yeah, I remember that. And then they shut it down after the people showed the Twin Towers on fire. Didn't know Reagan granted amnesty for illegals in California in the 80s. Yeah, that's one of the things that you know, you look back on Reagan, part of the immigration problem. People constantly talk about Reagan's amnesty. Oh. It was Dublin. I don't know why I thought it was London. Alex Jones clip. I think I had it. I don't know. It was on here somewhere. Trump announces his work program. Yeah, they did have the Alex Jones clip. You're right.
So now, by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm gonna go throw up, actually, and this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically gonna puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. It's because I have integrity, and you know, I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this tears my guts out. And so now, by coming in and being...
And so there's Alex. I don't know. He might have thrown up. He said he was going to throw up. Why do they do it in a car? Well, Alex always does videos in the car. Yeah, Alex was like, you know, he has the right. They've done so much good. He's got a point. Man, what a beautiful sky. Euphemism. I trust euphemism we need to bury. It means the complete absence of any members of most of the races on the planet. Well, it's just. Oh my goodness. You just looked up your shirt and it was made in Bangladesh. A lot of clothing is made in Bangladesh. The tariffs got raised, I know, in Bangladesh. You recently, I know you came out with a video recently explaining why you don't think Building 1 and Building 2 were controlled demolitions. What about Building 7? Yeah, I'm working on a Building 7 video. I'm going to get it out. Libs are a dying ideology. They can't replace themselves, but they don't even want to. That's part of that is part of their ideology is going extinct. It's very odd. At least with some of them. Some of them try and embrace family, I guess, the moderate ones, but that is part of their ideology is that the women should not have kids because it's a sacrifice and they should be able to work on a. It's interesting to see the dynamics of it. Your ideology promotes going extinct or bringing down your population. It's very strange. They breed through indoctrination. Yeah, I can understand that as well. Young kids could grow up even in Republican, but I don't know. It hasn't been this rigid where the feminists are not having any kids and. There's a lot of trad wives' thoughts. It seems like Gen Zers having more kids. Really, I don't know if that's true. Yeah, that might be a trend. Maybe there's a trend of it. I don't know if that's true. Did you see the Canadian poll? The greatest threat to them is the U.S. Yeah, well, of course they're gonna think that they're a bunch of liberals that hate Trump, and also where they're located, they're gonna think that they think they're sequestered from the rest of the world. Left will still call us a cult even though we're angry with the administration right now. Well, who cares? I mean, who really cares what the left says? They were irrelevant. They lost. Entire Canadian population on the U.S. border. Yeah, that is true. The population density on the border is crazy. Yeah, what is with the Canadian boomers? They're crazy liberal. The younger people are more conservative than the boomers in Canada by far. Even in the United States, the boomers are turning more liberal. Greatest threats to Canada, United States 59%, China 17%. Well, China manipulated their last election. At least that's what I heard. How many illegals did Canada let in? A ton. I mean, relative to their population, they let in, far, far too many that they could handle. That it's going to affect their life quality. Why did Epstein have paintings of Clinton and Bush? Well, it's like an inside joke. It's an inside joke with them. It's part of the blackmail operation. Isn't Alberta filled with boomers though? Well, even I don't know if it is, but even if it is, they're more conservative. They're way more conservative in Alberta. Man, this is like me getting drafted all over again with the binder. That's. What do you think about Alberta independence? Seems pretty unlikely, honestly, man. But we'll see. 300,000 celebration. Yeah, I gotta add it. I'm gonna add the subscriber count to my screen, to my live streams. I'm gonna remember to do that. Wonder what Trump and Bibi talked about during that dinner. Well, I mean, I don't even know if they talk about much during the dinner. Probably off outside of dinner. But I mean, they probably talk about the list is and the Iran situation, and I mean, there's a lot of situations with Israel and the Hamas situation. Upload 15-second video of your resources song. 1 million subscribers instantly. Oh, man. Royalty Crypto. Thank you. I appreciate this. Thank you for the support. Bibi has his own corruption case going on in Israel. Yeah, well, didn't Trump say Netanyahu was the best man or something? He's like I think it was in the context of the situation with Hamas, though. He was saying it. Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, he nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. Bibi did. He wants Israel to, yeah, I know he's been tweeting about it. Trump wants Israel to stop the case against Netanyahu. Shout out to the people that still don't believe in conspiracies. Rogan. I don't know, with Rogan it's kind of like, come on, man. This independent stuff is just, all right, dude. We get it. Is there a way to create focus on the type of commercials we have to watch during your streams, try to make them cool to watch. No, I can't pick which ads come on. I mean, you could get a YouTube Red or whatever it is, and there'd be no ads, but it is cost $15. Yeah, that's what I'm saying with Rogan. I hate the, because to me, it couldn't any of us, because think about politics. Politics, obviously, there are certain things like the way they can be argued. It's so easy to argue from both sides. It's so easy to be like, well, I agree with Republicans on this, but liberals on this. And people kind of say, well, that's like a badge of honor. That's good. But it's almost like that you have no position. Would you be surprised if Joe Rogan showed up to the stream? To my stream? Well, I wouldn't believe it was him. You use Brave browser so you get no ads. Yeah, no, I mean you could use an ad blocker, but if you're on if you're on cell phone or a phone, you can't do that. Through the YouTube app. Rogan will have Elon on his show 300 times. I know. It's a certain point, it's enough. I mean, how many times is Elon going to go on there? Like 7 times at this point. It's a lot of times you go on the show. Yeah, we do need another Alex Jones Rogan episode. It's going to happen at some point. Especially with Alex Jones with the weight loss and everything. Rogan loves that, I'm sure. Don't need to hear a comedian talk on politics. Yeah, but Rogan, I'll give him credit. He's been talking politics for a while. The other ones kind of just got into it. The other ones I do find annoying when they talk politics. But they all do it now because of Trump. And he's like, that's the thing to talk about. That's the gossip, I guess, is politics. Feel like the most plausible reason Trump is hiding the list is because he has high-profile friends who were involved, still scummy. I could definitely see that. I could see that. Well, remember, Trump has hinted about when they ask him about releasing it, he says, I'll release it, but, it's going to implicate some people that are not guilty, and so maybe he's talking about people that, were his friends. Do a clean break memo video. I mean, that's... Yeah, it actually... There's something... Yeah, what was it called? Well, the clean break memo was 96. Project for New America Century, you heard of that? That was 97. That's the American version of involvement in foreign wars, basically at the behest of Israel. And that was 97. That might have even been bigger. And then there was the Bush Doctrine after 9/11, which also allowed more just pure executive authority on involvement in foreign wars. Those are really the 3 big things I would say in the late 90s. You're sure Dave Smith is having a field day on the Epstein stuff? Oh, yeah. Well, Dave Smith already abandoned Trump after the Iran situation. But it's Dave Smith. Who cares about these freaking comedians? I guess you're supposed to care about them, and then they turn on Trump, and they're like influencers now. It's like, all right, man. You're going to turn on Trump over like one little thing. It's like, just, I don't know what to tell you. Calling Rogan a comedian is hilarious. I just laughed at your joke more than I'd laugh at Rogan's. That's the thing, is Rogan wants everyone to call him. He's really a podcaster that does comedy. Do you know about LOL Superman? Of course I know about it. I'm believing it was Mandela effect. I don't think it was. I mean, maybe it was out there at some point. It's hard to say. Four-mile stretch of road in Florida has been renamed President Donald J. Trump Boulevard. Well, aren't they going to name a major airport after Trump? Trump International? To me, it's either Trump's friends, Israelis, or one of his kids, or all of the above. But if it was Trump, nothing stopped Biden's DOJ from releasing the part that incriminates Trump. Absolutely. The only thing that they could say is, well, Trump would then talk about other stuff. But I agree. I agree with you 100%. I think it's probably people around Trump, and people don't want to hear that. They want it to be Trump. Go to crypto for crypto week. I don't know about a meme coin that's gonna pump because of crypto week. Honestly, I'd have to do some digging, but it is bullish. It's bullish that there's a crypto week. Bullish in the long run. I admitted to gooning. No, that was a joke. I mean, that I was joking about that. I'm not gooning at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, man. When will Ethereum start running? It's been teasing 2400, 2600. Yeah, at some point the floodgates are going to open. The floodgates are going to open. Ethereum's going to go. Some of these other coins are going to go. I mean, it's going to happen. Dude, you go to this and it's just all Solana coins. I always have to filter it because, it's like, I don't care shit about Solana. Well, I mean, I don't hate Solana, but yeah, this America party. Did you hear about this? This is crazy, dude. How did I not know about this coin, or somebody did recommend this to me or some shit? $12,000 to 32 million. That's a nice gain. That's a little something something. Insane. Were you ever a gooner? Well, I mean, you're. Mike Johnson. Goon coin. Never goon. 67K. It's got nothing in terms of market cap. Epstein coin. That coin's got to be dead. How is it at 209K, dude? You're trolling me. I've lost money on this somehow. The thing is I'm not patient enough. I just sell it. Is XRP still the best crypto? Come on, man. Come on, don't be a boomer. I'm not, dude. Come on. Yeah, the Melania coin is just terrible. It's 114 million. Look at the bot trading. Jeez. What a waste of money. What a serious waste of money. Future play freedom. Learn more about the official Melania meme here. Is the Epstein coin dead after this? Honestly, who knows? Because with Elon and his party, he's going to talk about releasing it and stuff. Who knows, dude? I wouldn't buy it right now, though. Sounds like cope, but you have a theory that the Jeffrey Epstein list is on Trump's dead man switch in case something happens to Trump. Everyone goes down. Yeah, he's probably using it as ammo. That's a good theory. Makes sense. It's not cope. That's not cope. You probably are right. How's the Trump coin? It's terrible. The Trump coin is terrible. Official Trump. Official Musk. And it's got Musk doing the salute. The official Musk coin. Oh my goodness. This is not real. Trust the plan. Trust Trump. Trump's legacy will be good other than January 6th and Epstein. Yeah, but even the January 6th stuff, you could argue they set Trump up because Trump had the proper security in place for January 6th. And it was Nancy Pelosi, and they said, no, we can't have any security. We got to make it as bad as possible. So even the January 6th, you could argue out of it. Whatever happened to NFTs, is that still a thing? Yeah, the NFT market it's pretty dead. It was like a 2021 fad. I don't really think it's not really a thing anymore, but it's they still have markets and stuff. What is it, OpenSea? They have some markets. Remember those Trump EFT cards? Whatever happened to those? They're worthless now, I think. I don't know. I think you get like a dinner date with Trump, maybe. You might get a dinner date with Trump. NASDAQ. NASDAQ's been doing really well. 4chan. Really, dude? January 6th was one of the coolest things Trump has done. 2020 was 100% stolen. Did Fuentes tell you? Capitol Police started firing on peaceful protesters. That's what started it. Well, I mean, I think either way, they should have had the prop. They would have had National Guard there if it were up to Trump. It's all Trump's plan. He's blackmailing Bibi. That's why he's agreeing to the ceasefires. Trump. Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard about that idea. Maybe I should start using that, and that would probably help me. Should I start using that? I think Trump might be blackmailing Netanyahu. Let's just start saying that and just... Maybe that's what's going on. Diddy coin? Yeah, I mean there was a Diddy coin. I don't think it really spiked very much if I had to guess, just because... Yeah, there's really nothing here. I mean that photo was pretty funny. There's a few things from Rapid Response that they've done. Troll face coin had a crazy run. Yeah, I remember that. The Solana one. The Solana one had a big run. You're more concerned about amnesty and if the law for that passes, how far amnesty would get. No, we're not. There's not going to be amnesty. There's temporary. There's a job program. There's a job program. I don't think it's not amnesty. There can't be any amnesty. How much money would it take to debate you? Yeah, I charge appearance fees. No, I don't charge appearance. I don't even... It's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. Temporary visas with a jab program is not the same thing as amnesty. Republicans are losing your family's vote. That's gotta be a troll liberal. That's a troll liberal saying that. They're losing your vote. DoorDash sprayed Hornet Killer in your Chipotle. Well, that would be terrible. You mean, to be fair, the Epstein thing doesn't hurt the administration economy-wise? Yeah, I know. I know. That's the good news with it. The economy's still in the same place, and so... When's the pizza party meet and greet? Remember the main meet and greet? What's the best state in the western half of the U.S.? Well, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. Weather-wise, I think the best state would be weather-wise, probably Colorado. Although Colorado is pretty extreme, it gets really hot. Politics-wise, demographics, it'd probably be what, Montana or Wyoming. What's up, Dad? What's up, man? I don't know about the whole daddy stuff. What is the possibility that Trump is really playing some crazy 4D chess and he's throwing up a smoke screen so he can shock everyone with a bunch of arrests in a few weeks? Yeah. I mean, you never know, man. You really never know. No, I don't think so, man. We're getting to like emergency levels of copium, I think. Girth Gerson. Boy, what a name. Don't know if you know this, but during the election time, there was an AI Kamala bot on Polymarket that would respond every single comment under the Trump Harris bet. Dude, how many comments do you think were under that? Oh, because they allow the comments to just keep going, and there's like thousands and thousands. I wonder how many total comments were under that bet, page. Trump to the Epstein reporter. What if a bomb dropped on your head? Yeah, I do remember that. You remember when he said that? Would you jack off Ada for no 9/11 happening? Ugh. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for this live stream. I think that's enough for that with that question. I mean, what a question. What a question to end it. I'll allow him to close it out with that question. What a question that was. Yes. What a way to end it. Sources tell you Trump is holding off on releasing Epstein files because he has leverage for trade deals. Yeah, what an account name that is. What even is that account name? What in the... How do you even have an at that long? How can you have an at that long, that many characters? Let's have a Goonoff. Well, I am ending it, or I have to end it early for a reason. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. We need a meet in Colorado. All right, I'll see you guys. Wait, hold on. No, nobody comment anything. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.